I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would please call the roll.
Debbie?
Here.
Lyle? Here. Melanie?
Here.
Don? Okay.
Everybody's present. And I'm seeking approval for the November 10th, 2014 board meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion? Motion by Lyle, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Debbie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Does the board have any perfection of the agenda? Hearing no perfection of the agenda, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move that we approve the agenda.
I have a motion by Debbie and support by Lyle. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We have multiple reports on file. And we will move to the first agenda item. White Lake Ambulance Authority representative. Don has resigned his position as a member of that board. I accepted his resignation. I'm asking the board if they will place me in that position for, I'm not sure how long, but while we go through this process.
I move that we elect Melanie Arbogast to serve as our representative on the White Lake Ambulance Authority.
Second.
Motion by Debbie, second by Dick. Roll call, please.
Debbie?
Yes.
Don? Dick? Yes. Melanie?
Aye.
Lyle? Yes.
Motion carried. I will let you know, I was going to that meeting today. I was not going to be able to vote, but I was going to attend and gather information. However, I went in the ditch and did not make it to that meeting.
We're just happy that you're okay.
Thank you. And my car basically is okay. And thank you to the people that got me out of that. And the next item, attorney fees. I couldn't even tell you how long we've had the same attorney. I did rack my brain and do some thinking as to whether or not he's done the job, and I always have to remember, he does the job that we ask him. He gives us his opinion, but he doesn't make the decision. So when we ask him for opinion, if we don't follow it, that's our thing. He still supports us. The big thing here is that the hourly rate is going up. It's $20, right, Dick? Wasn't it $125 an hour before? Okay. And he did send resumes, or I shouldn't say resumes, synopsis of the different attorneys in the office and their schooling and background on that, as well as basically the information on billing rates in this area of the county, Muskegon area.
They're just going up $10 a year for 3 years.
That's the next thing, yep. So that's the next thing. So the question is, what's the board want to do here? Continue on? I mean, I can't really say he's done a bad job because I have to think back to what he has to do. When he works for us, he has to represent the decision we make. And the other thing he did was the appeal for the Chicago Area Council.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Are the associates, is theirs going to be going up also? Or is that what we would, if we decided to go with an associate? I mean, if he's at $145 an hour right now,
Mhm.
and he's going up $30 more over the next, or
$10
$10 a year,
Correct.
so he'd be at $175 in 3 years.
Correct.
Would the associate's fee go up?
That's what I'd have to ask, because that's the one that works a lot on our stuff is Susan Franklin.
That's what I was just gonna say, whenever I see a letter, I see Susan Franklin, and I was looking at her synopsis, and I think it's very good, and
It
if
is.
she's been working on our things anyway.
And that might be the direction to go. We can request that she works on our stuff. The thing is, some of that knowledge has to be based on municipalities, and I think, even Lyle can kind of back that up there. Everybody doesn't have the knowledge and training needed to be able to represent municipalities. So that's always something to think of while if we ever decide to look. But as far as what's coming in or what's been worked on, maybe the idea would be to direct it towards Susan Franklin rather than towards Doug himself.
Right, because her practice does include the municipal law.
Yes. And in the last 8 months, everything, I think it was even before that, I'm not sure if what we got for the fire department wasn't from her also. I'd have to look back. But I think the last things we've gotten, so that would be something to,
Just, a thought, I don't know if we plan on doing any action on this today or not.
it's,
Or is
the
it
fees are
just-
gonna go up January 1st. But
Okay,
we don't have to jump that quick, and we certainly, if we were looking for a different attorney, we wouldn't get all the information in that quick. But I think the idea of looking at steering things towards through the associate is not a bad thing, and I can certainly ask him about the two things, that and the fee, if that's gonna go up for her the same as what he stated in the letter.
It looks
For
like
him.
it, on the second
Yes.
page, it says,
Yeah,
these hourly rates increasing at a rate of $10 an hour for the next 2
Okay.
years.
so you're talking about,
So I would think so, and these hourly rates are
Yeah.
$125, $145.
yeah, true, but I would double check.
Now, Dalton Township left him a few years ago and went with a company in Grand Rapids.
He left all.
Cedar Creek Township also has left him and gone to a company in Grand Rapids. And from what I understand, they're both very pleased, so I think we ought to look into who those people
Who
are.
the other ones are. So maybe the best thing for me to do is I'll ask if we remain with him, about the fee, and if we could go with Susan Franklin. And the other thing is getting information from other municipalities on who they use. I know we
that's a good idea.
have different ones that use, Jim Rose,
I think that's the way we should go.
and I think there's Myers and Myers, I think is the one. Is that the one? Somebody told me?
So do we
That's
have
not-
to formally
No, no.
table this, or do we
No,
just?
no, it's just, we can take, what we should do is table it, and I'll bring back more information. Formally, and tabling it would be good only because we have a document.
Right, and if anybody else has information too, you don't have to do it all yourself. If
Yeah.
anybody here has information too.
Right, but it would be after
Right.
the meeting. But one thing too is one thing easy about that is just sending out to all municipalities
That's true.
to get the information,
Yeah.
I think. So if we could have a motion, Don, did you have a comment? Sure, okay. We could have a motion to table document 120814-02 with more information coming back for the January meeting. Do I hear a motion?
I'll second.
Motion by Lyle, second by Dick. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Next item is employee evaluation. That's Debbie.
Okay, as a member of the board, one of our responsibilities is to have an evaluation of the fire chief. And we talked about that even the last time that we went through everything through the fire department. And so, by doing that, I kind of went on the internet and tried to find different things, and I came up with a form that I'd like you all to look at. And if there's something else that you would rather do, bring it back, but I think it's something that we should do. It's something that we said we were going to do, every year, so I would like to pursue that. Does anybody have any questions?
Not on that part. Everybody hasn't had a chance to look at it, so look it over and,
Right, and then I
Yeah.
think we should have it on our agenda next.
on January.
I know that Melanie gave me a form here that comes from our handbook that says that all employees should be evaluated. Now, the people that are elected by the public do not have somebody ahead of them in order to evaluate them.
We're not
We
an
have-
employee.
Right, so we need to have some kind of a form filled out so that all the different,
We need a basic form that has the questions laid out for
Right.
each, for all the other employees.
right, so that everybody does it the same way.
So that would be something for the board members, if they get a chance to start looking at what kind of employee evaluations are out there and what would work good for that. So that would be something to bring back to the January also.
Right.
And look over the one that Debbie prepared, or made
Made
copies of,
Mhm.
and see if there's something different to be on there or not on there, something totally different. And I put that down to be on the January agenda.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, can I add one more thing?
Hmm?
Oh, never mind, I'll do it at the end.
Okay.
It doesn't have to do with evaluation.
Okay. Fire chief. First thing up is the duty shift program firefighter payroll.
Okay, believe each of you have a copy of the email that I sent to Melanie. And you also have your copy of the 6-month review that I gave you not too long ago, about a month ago. So with that in mind, you know, if you remember, we took a 5% pay cut to make the duty shift program work, and it's working very good. And I would like to ask for some of that back for the firefighters. You know, one thing that it might help with is our recruiting. It's a stimulus, it's something that they would like, you know, they did give it up, and that was unanimous, and I did some figuring here, as I mentioned. I feel that asking for 2% of the 5% that we gave back to us would be a number that we could work with and still stay within our personnel budget. I don't think it's gonna affect it at all. Initially, I thought about, you know, going with 5%, asking for it all back, and at this point in time, I don't feel comfortable doing that. It's hard to predict how many more calls we're gonna have until the end of this fiscal year. It's not the end of this year, okay, it's the end of this fiscal year. And we have, what, about 4 months, 5 months, 4.5, 5 months to go in this fiscal year yet, so I don't really feel comfortable, although my figures with the 5% show that it can be done. I just, again, it's a gamble, and I don't like that gamble. 3%, not too bad, okay, but again, I'm just not comfortable with that. 2% I feel we can that our budget can easily handle without any budget adjustments or anything. You know, 2% increase in all the firefighter salaries across the board. And in my memo to Melanie, I'm asking the board to approve a 2% increase in the hourly pay rate for Blue Lake Township firefighters effective January 1st, 2015.
How about we get the motion on the floor and then the support, and then we'll discuss? So I'm seeking a motion for the board to approve a 2% increase in the hourly pay rate for all Blue Lake Township firefighters effective January 1st, 2015.
I'll make it.
Okay, Dick's made the motion,
I'll second.
and Debbie support now, discussion?
Okay, if we have more firefighters join the fire department, does that make a difference in this then? Will we still be able to?
It will make a slight difference in it, considering we have a few people right now who will not make their training or their call response percentage. They're not getting any of this money right now anyway. I mean, they could, but they're just not responding. So, and I have one applicant that,
We'll get to that next.
yeah, we'll do that next. So there will be one more person in there who I suspect will be responding a little better than some of our other people. But even with that in mind, our budget, you know, when Dave Barrett was deputy chief, the budget was based on 200 calls and 17 people. Okay, well, we're not gonna reach 17 people. by the end of this fiscal year. You know, hopefully, we are gonna continue to recruit, and sometime, you know, next year, we will reach that number, I hope. But you know, that's hard to tell. But right now, our budget will support, you know, an additional person, possibly even an additional 2 people, depending what level of training they come in with. Okay, again, I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit, this person who's coming in is already certified as firefighter 1 and 2. Okay, somebody new, they start at the very bottom of the scale. As a matter of fact, this person would too, he started with the probationary pay. So yes, our budget will support that, and that's another thing I looked at in addition to calls, is, you know, can we do this? I made some changes in how we pay people, out of what line item we pay people to help ease the strain on the, it's not a strain, but a possible strain on the budget, and that's working out fine also. So the answer to your question is it'll handle it.
I have a question.
Mhm.
When you're looking at the fiscal year coming up, budget cycle,
Mhm.
are you looking to reestablish the other 3%, to bring that 5% up whole?
As I mentioned in the memo, I'm gonna consider that, but that's gonna be based on, it's gonna be based on what our 1-year report on the duty shift program tells us. So right now, I don't, that's why I'm being a little conservative right now. I would ask for, as I mentioned in the memo, anywhere from 1 to 3% of that remaining 5% back if the budget can handle it. And again, I know by that time, we're gonna have at least, hopefully, at least 1 more firefighter. And, you know, we'll have an idea of the number of calls for the calendar year. But again, that's something that's always a gamble, the number of calls. So we'll be under 200 this year, I almost bet on that.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Does that mean that the 2% increase would be from now on, or does that mean that we have to decide at the next budget meeting at what is going to be at?
My intent is from now on, what you have to do with the budget is your
We
is your
still,
business.
Right,
We still make that
We
decision.
still make the decision
Correct.
at budget time. Okay, so this is actually for 3 months.
correct,
Okay.
Well,
January, February, March,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, I know, but I mean, we're gonna take it back on April 1st?
I don't foresee that, but that's where you go into the budget cycle, you always have your budget discussion, so that's where you look at those. So,
So we're actually voting for this to be in effect through the end of this fiscal year?
correct, for
Okay.
this, you're voting for that, but there's nothing that says, he would have to present a reason, Larry would have to present a reason as to why he wanted to go down an avenue of reducing the pay. I mean, we had a reason before, and now, you know how that's working out, and here's where he's coming back with his reason for the 2% back.
Okay.
So now, coming to the budget cycle, you gotta look at the whole picture again.
Mhm.
What was the, without going into an hour and a half explanation, what was the reason before that you cut firemen's wages?
I asked for a cut in order to support the duty shift program, which was new,
Okay.
and that's the reason. I didn't want to, we wanted to take it out of the same amount of monies that were budgeted for personnel, for the 13-14 fiscal year.
Okay.
So that's why,
And the way I understand duty shift is, they're over there doing stuff.
oh yeah,
They're not out on a run,
no.
they're just doing stuff over there.
Well, if we
There's
have a
only
call,
like
yes.
3 or 4 or 5 of them that do anything.
If
Um,
you-
There's only like 3, 4, 5 guys or people
Mhm.
that do anything on that duty shift.
There's probably about 5 that take advantage of the duty shift in
Right.
terms of signing up for a shift,
Aren't
yes,
there many of them?
correct.
But that's their choice.
I understand that, I'm just trying to figure out here, I don't wanna be saying, give them a raise, 2% raise on January 1, and then April 1, have to refigure it out again.
Well, that's where the board comes in, I mean, that,
Well,
I
I
mean,
know
you
what the
have
board
to.
has to do with the budget, but I mean,
No, I mean, that program had to be authorized by the board, so if the board wouldn't have authorized it, it would have never happened, the cut would have never happened. So
you
in
mean the duty shift?
the duty shift,
Yeah.
the program, so establishing this back, even at 2% is,
Well,
Is-
I don't have any.
yeah, it's a positive, but,
2%, but I don't know if you're taking it back either.
well, then you're one voice out of 5 that absolutely would have your reasonings for doing that, so,
Well, I mean, the fire department,
yes.
this is the fire department. That's the
Well-
most important service that we provide to these taxpayers out here.
This is why even restoring the 2% is a good thing.
Yeah.
And so we would look at the budget things as we get into that.
Well, I will give the board an annual report at the end of one full year.
Yeah, that would be good.
And then, I won't be asking, since the end of one full year is gonna be March 30th, you know, I would not be asking for the other 1 to 3, until beyond that.
That's why I
And,
was asking if it was going to be in the budget, when you were considering the budget.
Correct. And actually, the plan right now is to not put, I don't plan on asking for any more money in the personnel wages for the next fiscal year. We're doing very good with the amount that we've been asking for many years. It's working, and I'd like to just keep it that way, so,
That's another conversation.
yeah.
Okay. So we have a motion,
No, that's fine. When you say personnel wages, are you talking just the one line item, or are you talking another line item we were talking about before?
Talking about
The
the
repairs
top
and
line.
things like that. The
Oh, no,
repairs.
no, I'm talking about the top line item. Fire people salary,
Okay, but not anything to do with the repairs.
correct.
we have a motion on the floor by Dick, second by Debbie. Any more discussion? A roll call vote, please.
Debbie,
Yes.
Melanie,
Aye.
Don, Lyle,
Yes.
Dick, yes.
Motion is carried. The next item is also yours.
Yes, I gave you an application for a new applicant, Rob Hilton. He's gone through the interview process. The interview committee had recommended him. All 3 of the interviewers recommended him. I interviewed him. I recommend him. His background check came back clear. Dick, I don't know if you got anything on his driving record yet, but, okay. But again, his hiring would be dependent upon his passing an OSHA physical, which is gonna be a little bit modified because he's a truck driver, he's already had a DOT physical. And the only thing he really needs is the blood work. You know, again, successful completion of the rest of the OSHA physical and a clear driving record check. So, no, I did not make myself a copy of that, so you have the motion there that
I do.
I proposed that you.
The motion is, he's asking the board to approve the hiring of Rob Hilton as probationary firefighter pending the outcome of his driving record check and his passing on OSHA physical. Do I hear a motion? Motion by Dick, is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Lyle, any discussion? I did ask Larry this, just so you know, and he can answer again, where this gentleman was located when he applied to our station.
He had a personal problem. He left Dalton Township because he had to move out of the township. He moved to Eggleston temporarily. He bought a house on Wixer, which is in Whitehall Township, which is actually, I mean, it's just like about 1/8 of a mile outside of our township line, if that much. But he did want to get back in the fire service. He talked to the chief at White Lake, and I guess he kind of got the runaround. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but he then applied to us. He really wanted to get back. He knew that he was outside the township a little bit, and he wanted to get back on Dalton, but because he lives so far away from the station, the chief suggested that he apply to either White Lake or Blue Lake. The Dalton chief knew that we were looking for people, and so he suggested he apply here after his talk with the chief of White Lake. He will be a Station 2 person. He's got a real easy shot for Station 2 from where he lives. Of course, he'll be, during part of his probationary period, he'll be responding up here to kind of get the idea of what we do on standby, if we're on standby or on call, whatever. Once we're satisfied that he knows how we work during a call, then we'll have him respond to Station 2. And like I said, he's firefighter 1 and 2 right now, so he can go on all fires. He has not taken MFR class because of his move. He's leaving Dalton. He was not able to do that. So he'll be doing that in probably end of June, beginning of July, when that class starts up again.
Okay, does the board have any questions?
Is he a long-term, long-time part-time hauler, or, I mean, will
Oh,
he
no,
be
no,
out of
he's,
state, or?
he's local. He actually, got rehired by his former company. He used to go to, drive I don't know where in Grand Rapids, where he drove from it. There was a daily route that he had, delivering turkeys. And, he did that for, I wanna say about maybe up to 2 years. But the company that he left to go to the other company to deliver turkeys, they wanted him back enough, and they offered him a nice enough package. And this happened just right after Thanksgiving. So, he's back there, and that's out of Holland. So, he'll be working, second shift. We've already made arrangements for his training. That's gonna be covered. He obviously can't make our training on Tuesday night. He knows that this, second shift is only temporary because of the fact that, they can't just bump somebody out of first shift to put him in there, even though they want him back. But, that's gonna be in the works of getting him back in first shift. So, it's just a temporary thing in terms of him working second shift and missing some of our Tuesday night trainings. But like I say, there's already, I have arrangements made where he can make up this training, and pretty much it'll be with open fire on weekends.
Dick, did you have a question?
Not about that. We're gonna have to go back to the 2%.
Hmm.
Are we done with that?
We're done with that, we don't have to go back to 2%. You have
Well,
to
I
just
don't
make
know
it
if
in a
we did.
comment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna give everybody a raise on their duty shift then too.
No, that's minimum wage.
That
That's
was
minimum wage.
Okay.
Sorry. You guys. Okay, we have a motion on the floor, made by Dick, seconded by Lyle. Actually, also, Dick, would you please make sure you put the document numbers in, these motions for reference? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Debbie,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Lyle,
Yes.
Melanie,
Aye,
Dick, yes.
motion carried. Thank you. Accounts payable.
First, items, general fund, $2,919.94. Public safety fund, $4,666. Fire fund, $6,060.34. Street lighting fund, $181.14. For a grand total of $13,827.42. And I move that we pay those bills.
I second it.
Motion by Lyle, second by Debbie. Roll call, please.
Debbie,
Yes.
Don, yes. Melanie,
Aye,
Lyle,
Yes.
Dick, yes.
motion carried.
Okay, the net payroll for the month is $11,284.71. And I move that we pay that also.
I second it.
Motion by Lyle, second by Debbie. Roll call, please.
Don,
Yes.
Melanie,
Aye,
Debbie,
Yes.
Lyle,
Yes.
Dick, yes.
motion carried.
The final one is the electronic fund transfer. That's $2,580.25. And I move that we pay that also.
I'll second it.
Motion by Lyle, second by Debbie. Roll call, please.
Melanie,
Aye,
Lyle, Don, Debbie,
Yes.
Dick, yes.
motion carried. Any board member comments?
I have one.
Okay.
As everybody knows, the taxes are out, and we were able to use the new envelopes with the stamps already on it, and being able to just pull it off, and it glued automatically, and it works so nice. And my deputy, Sandra Henry, I would like to thank her, because she did most of the work actually, of doing that, and we both agreed that it probably took us half the time to get the tax bills ready by using those new envelopes. So thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Debbie. Any comment? Any other board members? No more board members? Public comment, please. Whoops. after Barb. Barb, could you come up to the microphone, please? Yep, thank you.
Our Bellman at 1618 Lusty Road. My concept of an evaluation of anyone is generally done by a peer or perhaps a superior. I think I would ask the board to reevaluate their comments regarding evaluating the chief. The reason I say this is because I don't believe that everyone on the board, and even myself with previous experience in firefighting, has the knowledge to know exactly what is necessary in the performance of the job of fire chief. I say this because it is indicative that this is always and must always be considered a paramedical, paramilitary concept, in that the chief is the superior and operating officer. And I say that because when you open yourself up to evaluating someone in their performance, to some degree you're evaluating it based on extremely subjective information and not on fundamental basic principles of firefighting. However, if you wish to use resources, I suggest you go to the Federal Fire Academy in Emmitsburg. I'm sure the chief would have information on how to obtain that. And I researched it a few years ago, and there, in actuality, it specifically suggests that the board or government organization are really not the people who should be evaluating the chief. Chief should probably be more evaluated either by his peers in education or by his peers in the community, which would be the other fire chiefs within Muskegon Township. However, should you proceed in these efforts, I would suggest that you use the National Fire Academy as your resource for information. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Larry?
Larry Radke, Fire Chief of the Lake Township Fire Department. I'd like to recognize two of our people. Last month I mentioned about Jeff Abram, who completed his fire inspector course. He passed his test first time around. He was with people who were taking it the fourth or fifth time. So he did an excellent job on that. And he is now in the process of applying for his inspector's license. The other person is Mike McFarland, who I mentioned last month, completed his MFR class, passed his test, and just within the past 2 weeks, he got his MFR license. So we have another person who can respond on medicals.
Thank you for your comment. Any other public comment? Hearing no other public comment, meeting is adjourned at 7:34 p.m. Please join us for coffee, decaf coffee, by the way, goodies, and I'm sorry, I didn't bring the top out yet. There's pop, so help yourself.
Well, this thing has allergies, and my allergies get kicked in. It has lately, it's nothing. But it just,
Discussion you had